The St. Louis-San Francisco Railway, better known as the Frisco, was one of the great railroads serving the southern U.S. This fantastic model train layout depicts the system in its heyday, in the years before it was merged into the Burlington Northern in 1980. Ron Williams spent the better part of 26 years constructing this HO-scale miniature empire, the Springfield Terminal, representing the Frisco's operating hub of Springfield, Missouri. Unfortunately, just like the Frisco itself, this layout is now a thing of the past. Ron and his wife decided to move to a new home. The layout had to be dismantled. He invited us along for this final operating session. On the layout, you'll find plenty of Frisco's orange and white locomotives from the 1970s, as well as the former black and yellow units from the 1960s.
Well, the railroad is set in Springfield, Missouri during the 1970s. I picked the 70s just to be general about, I didn't want to get pigeonholed with it had to be in the locomotive that existed at 4:30 in the afternoon on August 1st, that sort of thing. So I've got equipment on this railroad that predates 1970 even, but it still existed on the Frisco Railroad up into some of the locomotives to 73.
The centerpiece of the Springfield Terminal is a model of the Frisco's sprawling Kansas Avenue yards and shop complex.
What? The guy next to mine, he's selling his house with a basement.
Really?
But I can't buy it because I would put the window on it. Yes.
Plying the rails are at least 100 engines and 550 freight cars. On the roster are some reminders of Ron's previous layout, the Calico and Turpin Springs, a freelance short line that was featured in Model Railroader magazine back in 1992.
So, but they don't say that, do they?
I'll tell you when you do.
I really enjoy the various zones that are set up, which the zones are set up as the way the Frisco did, where you have certain geographic areas of the city that are switched and dealt with. That was really an aspect that I enjoyed. But from a model railroading standpoint, something that you don't get to see a lot of is the size of yard that Ron had. Most layouts just can't support a yard that large, and to be able to operate Springfield Yard in a fashion that mimics what the real railroad did is really unique and fun to do.
It would be perfect.
Here we see a train passing the sprawling Ash Grove cement facility.
Okay, well, just go ahead and push down. It's all right. No, that's fine.
The layout keeps several people busy for hours during operating sessions.
Well, the thing I've enjoyed most is the people that have come over and run it. Layout this size requires a lot of work to maintain it, keep it running smoothly. Let's put every 30 seconds. Not yet. It's going to Steve's point. Will you come back tomorrow?
Ron Scratch built several large structures representing major industries around Springfield. One of his favorites is the Meyer Mills grain elevator complex.
Several of the structures that I got built were actual models of real industries. And the interesting thing is, and with maybe an exception or two, a lot of the industries that I have built models of are no longer in existence. I mean, they've been torn down, so they're not even here. So it's kind of a museum of sorts. Button right there, Ron. That's the same button that correlates with the button on the other side.
Just don't spread it around though. You know,
Yeah.
They want people to show up, you know, and not just cherry pick, but I said, yeah, no.
Hey, this is Ron. It's on board coming. Looks like I got a switch against me. And one in the tunnel, looks like.
Yeah.
Watch out for this goofy guy over here. He may be in your right.
In the days following our visit, the layout was torn down. A lot of it, though, including the industries, were preserved to use on Ron's next layout, meaning a little part of the Frisco and the Springfield Terminal will live on.
Well, it's sad to see such a tremendous layout, such a tremendous effort that Ron's put into it come to an end. But you know, that's just the life cycle of things. Ron will put together another layout that'll be equally on par in the future, I'm sure. But you know, he's spent a lot of years and a lot of work putting his sweat and time into this, and you know, everybody hates to see it go, but it's had a good life. Brought a lot of enjoyment to a lot of different folks.